You do not start your career in a golden age, you start in the middle of a shift nobody fully understands yet. You graduated with a degree or you taught yourself. Weekends, late nights, documentation pages left open for hours, Stack Overflow threads at 2 in the morning. You learned data structures, you learned algorithms, you memorized design patterns until they became reflex, until you could see the right shape of a solution before you started writing it. You stayed up debugging logic errors that made no sense until they suddenly did. That grind built you. It took years. You trusted it the way someone trusts a foundation they poured with their own hands. Then the large language models arrived. Not slowly, not with warnings. GPT-4 writes boilerplate faster than you type. GitHub Copilot finishes your function signatures before your fingers reach the closing bracket. Tools like Cursor and Claude generate entire components from a single plain English comment. The stack you spent years mastering is now wrapped inside something that needs no years to master anything at all. You are not fired. Not yet. You open a job board and the language on the listings has shifted. Phrases like AI native workflow and prompt engineering fluency appear where strong problem-solving skills and system design used to sit. You attend a sprint planning session and someone proposes automating ticket triage. The proposal becomes a task. The task ships in 2 weeks. 2 people who handled that manually are quietly reassigned to other work. You watch this happen, you take note. You are still employed, still writing real code, still relevant. But something has changed in how leadership measures a developer's contribution. Every skill you carry is now being benchmarked against a model running on a cloud server. That model never needs a lunch break. It never asks for a raise. It never misses a deadline because of a hard week. You are one engineer inside a profession being quietly restructured around something that is not a person. No announcement goes out. The restructuring simply proceeds, sprint by sprint, quarter by quarter. You feel it when an AI reviewer flags your pull request before any teammate sees it. You feel it when a planning meeting falls silent after someone asks whether this feature actually requires a developer to build at all. That silence is new. 2 years ago, it would not have appeared in a room like that. Now, it settles in like furniture nobody chose and nobody removes. Your daily workflow looks different now, and the difference is not cosmetic. You open your IDE and the AI assistant is already running. It watches your keystrokes. It anticipates your next move. You type a function signature and it drafts the entire body before you finish the opening line. Sometimes the draft is right. You accept it. Sometimes it is plausible but wrong in ways that are difficult to catch, and you spend 20 minutes tracing down an error the model introduced with complete confidence. That is a new tax on your time. Speed on one side, constant vigilance on the other. You context switch between trusting the output and auditing it, sometimes within the same function. Your job is no longer purely to build. It is to verify, reject, redirect, and catch the places where it generates. Ed code compiles cleanly but misrepresents its own behavior. Writing from scratch is linear. You know the shape of what you are making. Reading AI-generated code is closer to forensics. You scan the output the way someone reads a scene looking for what does not add up. Something is off. You track it down. Pair programming with a model is not the same as pairing with another developer. A human partner argues. A human partner has opinions about architecture and pushes back when your approach is wrong. The model does not push back. It agrees, revises, accommodates. That agreeableness is the danger. It amplifies whatever direction you are already heading, including the wrong one. You have to supply all the skepticism yourself. Senior developers adapt to this faster. They already know what bad code looks like dressed in the clothes of clean code. Junior developers face a harder problem. They are still learning to build while simultaneously evaluating output from a tool that sounds certain regardless of whether it is right. The correction loop that once shaped junior developers, writing flawed code, having it rejected in review, understanding exactly why, is now interrupted. The model writes the code. The junior developer accepts it. The code passes every linter. The failure surfaces in production months later, and nobody is certain whose responsibility it is. The workplace has not fully reorganized around AI yet, but it is leaning that direction, and the lean is steepening. Your manager does not say replacement or reduction. The words used are efficiency, leverage, and scale. Efficiency means fewer people should ship more features. Leverage means one capable developer with strong AI tooling should produce what a small team once produced. Scale means delivery expectations have risen without a matching rise in headcount. You feel the arithmetic? Your team ships more. Your team does not grow. When you ask about an open role, the answer is careful. The position is being evaluated. What that means is that someone is running a calculation on whether a model plus one contractor can cover what a full-time hire would have cost. You are not misreading the room. You are reading it accurately. The developers who build effective habits around the tools become more valuable in that comparison. The ones who resist or use the tools carelessly become a liability next to that comparison. There is no neutral position available. You either develop fluency or you fall behind a benchmark that moves every few weeks. Other developers in your cohort are pulling ahead. You can see it in their output velocity. They are not more talented than you. They built different habits faster. You study their setup. You replicate what transfers. But the gap between a developer who uses AI well and one who uses it poorly is not a gap closed by effort alone. It requires deliberate practice of a skill that did not exist in any training program you completed. Knowing when to trust the output. Knowing when to stop and read the documentation yourself. Knowing when to discard the generated code entirely and start from a clean file. These are technical skills. Your degree did not cover them because the degree was written before the tools existed. The developers holding their positions share certain habits. They do not treat AI output as finished work. They treat it as a draft requiring professional judgment applied at speed. You read generated code the way an experienced editor reads a first draft. You know where the problems tend to hide. You know which patterns look right but carry hidden assumptions about application state that will fail under real load. You know that a model trained on millions of repositories has seen the average case 1,000 times and the genuine edge case almost never. That edge case is your job. You also know your own code base in a way no model does. 6 years of accumulated decisions sitting quietly in the repository. A legacy service that 3 people still understand fully. An architectural choice made under deadline pressure that was never properly documented but is load-bearing for C4 dependent systems. A data pipeline that fails in a specific and predictable way when a particular vendor sends malformed fields, and the fix for that failure appears in no README and no issue tracker. This is the knowledge that keeps you employed. You become the person who holds the system's memory. You become the one called when generated output, however confident, fails to account for something with no GitHub issue and no Stack Overflow answer. That role requires showing up to the code base consistently. It requires staying close to the code when others are tempted to let the model handle more of the work. It requires maintaining a clear sense of what you actually understand versus what you accepted because it compiled and the test passed. Some developers around you have moved to the other extreme. They generate first and review rarely. Their commit velocity is high. Their defect rate is also high, but defects take time to surface and velocity is visible today. They are being praised today. You watch this and you notice the growing gap between what the tools can generate and what the tools can guarantee. That gap is real. It widens as AI-generated code accumulates in codebases without the level of scrutiny that handwritten code once received. You use the tools every day. You are not opposed to them, but you carry a working suspicion of any output you did not trace yourself. That suspicion is not nostalgia for the old way. It is professional discipline applied to a new environment. The developers who remain valuable in 5 years are not the ones who generated the most code this year. They are the ones who understood what they were generating and why. That distinction is invisible when output velocity is the only metric being rewarded. But production failures are also a metric. Systemic failures are a metric. The kind that develop when generated code runs quietly for months before something critical breaks and the team cannot reconstruct why the code does what it does. You are building toward the longer horizon. You review carefully. You document what the model got wrong and what it missed. You treat each piece of generated output as a question rather than an answer. The longer arc is harder to read. You are watching a profession transform in real time with no clear endpoint visible from where you stand. Developers who entered the field in the late 1990s watched offshore outsourcing compress certain roles across a decade. This disruption is moving faster than that. The half-life of a specific technical skill has shortened. The framework you mastered 2 years ago may already be one that teams are phasing out in favor of generated scaffolding. Staying current now requires a pace of learning that was once optional and is now structural, not occasional upskilling. Continuous repositioning. Every several months, you reassess what you know, what the market values, and where those two things no longer align. Senior developers face their own version of this pressure. Institutional knowledge that once made a veteran engineer indispensable is still valuable, but it is being weighed against younger developers who adopted AI tools from the start and moved faster on unfamiliar code bases. A senior developer who refuses to engage with the tooling becomes the most legible candidate in a reduction. Not because the knowledge is gone, because the output comparison no longer justifies the cost. Experience alone is not enough. It has to be paired with visible adaptability. The developer who lasts through the next several years is not the most talented by any traditional measure. The one who lasts is the one who knows what the model cannot do, stays close to that boundary, and keeps repositioning as the boundary shifts. That boundary does not hold still. The models improve on a schedule that does not ask for your comfort. Tasks that required human judgment last year are being automated this year. The ground keeps getting smaller.